hello guys, this is going to be my Tan-2 build. I've been asked by at least a couple of people now to actually drop my build and, rather than throw it in a text chat over and over and over again, I figured I would just make a quick video for anyone interested. It's not going to have high production quality, I'm not a YouTuber, so yeah, I'm just going to talk through what my build is, what I believe is most optimal, etc. So we'll start from the overview page. We'll work our way down the list, and hopefully it is pretty straightforward. I will also show some very important things, as things pop up. But first and foremost, let's start with our like link companions. This is extremely straightforward. It's gonna be the recommended. It's gonna be what's that face? Fucking a Tau. I had the tower as my number one whilst I was waiting to unlock the second slot. The duration of buffs applied is really insane. It applies to Phosphorus, which I'll get more into. It's our passive that we apply. It applies to our solar Q, and all in all, it's just more of a damage increase than the actual flat damage increase that we get from Wolf. Obviously, once we unlock 2, we put Wolf on because there isn't anything that we really benefit off of that isn't just pure defensive, and we don't really need defensive at this stage of the game. Going on to our weapons is probably going to be the biggest shock for a lot of people, especially the Izzy, believers. Izzy's quite bad right now. I don't have it. I do have Borealis. Obviously, I don't have Izzy here, but my pack have done extensive testing on Izzy, and this is what we opted for instead. Was the side rail year. Now you'll probably see in the leaderboards that every top runner is running this sniper. It is just the best for the current encounter, especially when you have a boss phase that needs to get down as soon as possible. The perks I do have on this gun are Trincladier, which isn't actually the best perk, and I'll get into that now. I believe at this point in time it is Fraternity, because this applies when you are the only person alive. Like, you get this 28% when you are running solo. It's not needed to be in group content, whereas this is 35%. Valet shields haven't been broken, but more often than not, the shields are gonna be going down. You're never gonna get that full 20%. A lot of the content requires you to be close range rather than long range right now. This could be ideal when we get more long range encounters, but right now, kind of piss. Some honorable mentions other than the mythics is Deadly Warrant is pretty good when it comes to the actual 25% precision damage, and that's about it for tree number 1. When we go into tree number 2, it's a clear winner. It's going to be Siren Mark. This is the go-to choice if you are half decent at hitting your shots. Yeah, it's just a clear damage winner. Nothing even comes close onto the side rail. Whilst we're on the topic of the heavy gun though, ignore the mods, they're not that important. Well, okay, I say that, let me quickly go over them. Certain mods will have trait upgrades for certain perks. I got really unlucky and didn't roll with any of them, but you are aiming to match these perks with the mods, but that's more RNG, more rolls. Honorable mention for Magoji, I've definitely butchered that. It's going to be triple tap. I know we do say annihilation here, but if you are landing these multiple hits, the one round to the magazine is just more flat out damage, like DPS. Obviously you go through ammo faster, but when you're trying to pump damage rather than just get more damage over an overall counter, it's triple tap. The alternative is obviously annihilation, but this is pretty bad for anything that dies relatively quick. This is good for bosses. Other than that, not so much. And then Pranayama is definitely the next go-to. It operates very similar to Searing Mark, but it does lose out to Searing Mark immediately once you get the perk upgrade for Searing Mark, because you approach that max damage a lot quicker, and you just end up doing more DPS overall per the calculations. Now, Polaris Lance. This is going to be hotly debated. I honestly just believe that Polaris Lance is the clear exotic choice for Tan-2. You will hear a lot of chatter about, hey, Borealis is low-key slept on because you can change all of the all of the weapon types to match the shields. This is gonna be a build to pump out the most damage in a group setting, okay? When I think of Tan-2, you're picking someone to fill 2 roles, you are picking someone to fill solar, and you are picking someone to fill piercing damage. That is your job, do it well. You are not going to do enough damage to justify bringing Borealis over Polaris Lance. This gun is insane, and I'll tell you why. It has a very nice perk where headshots or final blows trigger elemental blast, and this is going to do what Borealis essentially does. This is essentially a mini shield popper for any large groups of enemies. Okay, it's gonna suck against a void shield when it's only one enemy, but if it's one void shield surrounded by, I don't know, 5 shanks, and you get those not 5 shanks, sorry, like 5 like small grunts where you can get a headshot, this is gonna go absolutely insane. You're gonna melt the shield anyway, doesn't matter. The DPS on this is insane. Quite literally will double any other scout rifle's DPS. The only downside of Polaris Lance, I personally believe, is that it is very reliant on precision headshots. If you do not have that precision headshot in you, I would suggest maybe not getting this, maybe just going for a different scout rifle, because so much of the damage is going to come from all of the ammo coming back from the precision shots, the solar explosive rounds that keep coming out from all of your shots. Like, I'll give you a quick example since we're finishing up with the weapons here. This is the servitor. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Look, that's an extra 8k plus another 10k damage. That's an extra like 18,000 damage just for landing 5 extra headshots. And then this is the damage on the sniper before we switch to the artifacts. And that's without any buffs, okay? It's a lot of damage. You just have to. This is a very skillful base build. You have to hit your precision shots. Moving on to relic abilities. Okay, I'll do a quick rundown, quick explanation. Obviously, you're gonna have them max. It doesn't matter. There is no choice here. Okay, we'll start with flare. All flare is this bar down here, this damage bar that you see my cursor on. It's gonna be the difference between having a Q that does 60k damage and then explodes and does all this extra damage. Oh, okay, well, I mean, I'll just wait for this to be charged. And then having like a really pitiful damage meter if it's not charged. The difference in it is going to be crazy. The difference in it when you're actually firing is insane. Like, you don't have the bigger damage numbers on the burn. It's terrible. A lot of your damage is going to come from that power Q. You obviously charge it up by getting precision hits more than anything. Goes up more with precision hits, goes up less with normal hits. Bang, a lot higher with sniper shots. Relic abilities. Now, Sunset is what I just said. It's the Q. It inflicts Scorch and inflicts Corrupt. A lot of people don't know about the Corrupt. It's mainly an ad thing. For example, the Ogres that regen health just stops them regening health. And then if we go over to Sunrise, it's just a healing orb. It shoots it forward. Quick tip and trick. You can either hold Q to shoot it forward, or you can just tap it and it places it at your feet. You don't have to look down. That's just habit. Obviously, the ult is pretty simple. Depending on the form you're in, it's going to give you Blessing of Dusk, which provides you the damage boost, or the Blessing of Dawn, which is going to heal. What a lot of people don't know is if you throw it down, right now it's in healing mode. If you hit the ability to ult again, it changes to the other mode. It surprises me that a lot of people do not know about that. Twilight Shift is just swapping. However, we're going to come back to this in a minute, and the rest is just passive abilities. Extra Scorch on the precision hits is what I mentioned earlier. While a blessing is present, activate the super again is how you switch it. This is the ability. And then precision hits provide additional flair based on, precision hits. And then, you can re-forward that. It's not that important for this moment. Artifacts. This is going to be what most of you are here for. This is the most important thing. Now, I believe these 4 are going to be the most optimal choices. And I'm going to dive into a couple of things here as to why. Now, Inverted Guard is a lifesaver. You're going to get your entire shield back. It is a cheat death, essentially. it is gonna be your oh shit, I fucked up button, and it's gonna save you. You want this, okay? There's other stuff, okay, if you're playing super optimally, but there are gonna be times you cannot stop things. And when that happens, you are going to want to have this guard. Simple as that. Moving on to the second is Unrelenting Token. Now, I have been going back and forth debating whether this is the best, and I think so far it is, with just how much we are in our ADS whilst in third person. ADS in third person is this. Like, whilst you are in this, you are taking 30% reduced damage, okay? Whilst you're in the air, you redo it. Whilst you got a single jump, you're in ADS. This is ADS. All of this time, 30% reduced damage. Clear-cut winner in my opinion. Here is where things get a little techie. This is a lot of skillful. Calming Token, again, pretty straightforward. You got to be stationary. You get plus 37% precision damage. Wonderful for any phase where you can stand still, which is quite often in this game. The game is very lenient with how often you have to stand still. And the most controversial one, I'm not even going to try say this. Read it for yourself. Casting signature abilities grants 24%. Now, this is where something interesting happens. Because without even, changing abilities right now, okay, I'm going to wait the 6 seconds. 2, 3, 4, long enough, right? Look. 29k, or 2,900, right? Now, all I'm going to do is change forms. Whilst I was aiming down sight, you see that? I get the damage boost from just changing the form. It is no, swap, no nothing, no changes. Just changing the form. And that isn't just the 10% from having the talents. That is obviously a lot more. Your form change will affect that damage. It's unbeatable. It's going to be the best, and you're going to constantly have it up. I guess, a quick honorable mention is that you can also reload cancel with that form. Okay, so if you see me like this, I'm reloading, not all the way. Again. So at that point, you're just completely pumping out damage. But yeah, no, I mean, that's the whole video. It is a bit long, but it is a very comprehensive guide, and it should be enough to actually boost a lot of people's damage, assuming they did listen. So if you have any questions, please do pop it into the comments. I do have a few characters to go through in terms of guides. I've got Ningfei coming up, I'm just building, Joldo I'm also building, and of course Wolf. But yeah, no, I hope you enjoyed the video, and yeah, peace out.